Hello, I'm Orla Allen Medium, and here are your cards for today. So the first card is the Nine of Wands. Now this talks about where in a work situation we're having to climb stairs, we're having to work towards something. It's a bit of an uphill struggle, but do you know what? It's not a mountain you're climbing, it's a stairs, which makes the progress a little bit more easy for you, more manageable. So that's quite a good thing. So if you're finding in your work situation that you have an awful lot of work to do, or there's some serious project that you're trying to achieve, know that there is an awful lot of work you need to do for it, but you're more than capable of it, and just take it one step at a time. Don't try to think about having all the information in one go, or having how far you have to get it. Just take it one step at a time. Do the one step, then the next step, then the next step, then the next step, and before you know it, you'll be at the top of the stairs. Now we also have the Fool card in the middle. The Fool talks about where things are coming full circle, and it talks about where there's a playful energy with it, there's a childlike energy with it, but there's almost like a kind of sarcastic energy with it as well. The Hanged Man, as you can see, is a bat hanging upside down, and the Hanged Man usually represents where we think there's an awful lot of problems and issues going on, or we think the situation is a lot darker than it actually is, when the truth of the matter is it's mostly in our head. And if we just, like I said with the steps, take it a step at a time, take a little piece after a little piece after a little piece, then we'll suddenly discover that we've overcome whatever it is with very little effort, compared to when we first started out, when we didn't know anything and we were trying to get to the final stage. So it's very much, these cards are talking about your journey. Make sure that when you work wise. So think about what it is you're going to do. Don't just jump straight into it. Have a plan, have a little bit of focus in it. We also have the Ten of Wands here, which talks about something new happening in your work, but this is something that's already existed. So it's perhaps where you start doing a new project, but you've done the same project loads of times before, or similar projects loads of times before, but you're starting something that's new. Or it could be where you are working with, now there's no cup cards here, so it probably doesn't mean where you're working with somebody that you've worked before, but it does talk about where you're starting a new project or you're starting a new job, but it's one which already existed. So it could be where you're working with one company and you're sidestepping to a different company but doing the same job in it. And finally, we have the Six of Pentacles. Now, the Six of Pentacles talks about having enough money to look after the family, having enough money to do whatever it is that you need to do. But there's an element with it where you don't feel like you have an awful lot of money. You feel like the money's just coming in and going back out. Have a wonderful day.